Okay, hello everybody. Now, my name is Arun, and today I have Chris O'Shea, our head of digital marketing at Samera, joining us. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Aaron. How are you doing?
I'm good. So now Chris is based here in London, right in the heart of central London, and he's our head of digital marketing for the Samera Group. There's not much he hasn't seen and experienced, and you've been here with us for a number of years, haven't you? And you've seen our growth.
Yeah, nearly
as well.
7.
Is it 7? Oh my goodness. Okay.
Nearly,
Right.
yeah.
So that's been and in 7 years, marketing has changed fundamentally.
Oh, God,
Correct?
yes.
Yeah.
It's changed so much.
And trying to keep up with it is hard, correct?
Yeah, oh, yeah. Keeping up with the changes is half the job.
Correct.
Yeah,
But
it's a lot of fun, to be honest.
You're still here, and you're still going, and we're still going. So, and we're evolving. So, right, today. So, Chris, what are we talking about today?
Today I thought we'd have a little look at AI in marketing because, AI is changing pretty much everything and it's going to change marketing as well, maybe more than a lot of other industries and aspects of business. So I thought it'd be a really good way of tackling the topic just because of how much is going to change in marketing, because marketing is really changing from an agency industry and kind of you need a marketer in your business to now AI is going to help business owners it's going to make it easier for them to do, but it's also going to change a lot of what happens from the customer side of things as well. So a lot is going to change over the next 1 to 5 years.
Okay. If I look at our firm, maybe it's a good starting point is how are we using AI in the Samera business?
We use AI. I use it every day. It really has sped up a lot of aspects of marketing, content generation. It's made SEO easier in a lot of aspects.
Give some specifics, Chris. So give some specific examples like how you or the team are using AI and what AI platform and that type of thing.
Well, the simplest way you can use it is planning and strategy. You can take something like Gemini, the Google AI, or ChatGPT and tell it, here's my business, here's my end goal, here are my resources, help me plan to reach those goals. Or you can do something like if you're trying to do a content plan for social media or a newsletter or your articles on your website, you can basically give it topics. You can give it things you want to teach people, FAQs, and it's fantastic at giving you an outline, a calendar, a strategy. But that, to be honest, is as far as I would go with it. I wouldn't, do not then use it to make the content. AI is a great strategist for content, but don't let it make it for you.
Okay, so that's a very, very important point, okay, because what we see across social media and blog posts and articles is that so many people are using it to actually create the content.
Yeah.
And it looks very, personally, you know it's AI generated. It's very bland.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
I can spot ChatGPT instantly when someone's used it to write their stuff.
So you're saying as an experienced marketer that do not use it to create the content. Use it to create
not at all.
Use it to create the framework. Okay.
Yeah. Framework, absolutely fine. It's brilliant for that. But don't let it make the content. Because that's been the case with content and SEO for years, that you can't just let your content writer or a freelancer write all your content, because what they're going to do is go on Google, they're going to search the topic, they're going to find the first 10 articles everyone else is, then they're going to condense them into an article and send it off to you. That gives no real value. The customer could have done that themselves. And now AI is doing that as well. You can't just ask it to write an article for you, because the customer could have done that themselves for free on Gemini or ChatGPT, but also Google's going to know you've done that. What you need to do and what you've always needed to do is get an expert either to write it or at least have some input. So if you have a content writer, then your content writer shouldn't be just writing content on their own. They should be interviewing your frontline staff or the experts on whatever topic we're talking about, whether it's accountancy, whether it's dentistry like we do. They need to talk to an expert and use their quotes, use their opinions, their expert insights. That's what ranks on Google. Just general information that anyone can find is not going to rank.
Well, that's so important. I'd say that the vast majority of people who are doing marketing now for their accounting or any business is using ChatGPT to actually create the content. Okay. And as you said, Google will penalize them significantly. Okay. And you can create content very quickly, but honestly, it's pretty crap content. Okay.
It's useless.
It's useless. It's just meaningless stuff, which is just garbage, and it hasn't been thought through. So that's a really, really important point, which I think people haven't necessarily taken heed of. They just think they can churn out lots of content very quickly And that's what I thought originally when it all started. I remember having that conversation with you.
Yeah.
We can do so much content, and you were correct to say, Aaron, don't be so stupid. Okay, hold back. We can use it as a framework, but we still need the writers. We still need the editors. We still need the thinking behind it. Okay.
Yeah, because think of it this way: if we had done that, or if anyone does that, just uses AI and ChatGPT to churn out their content, what will happen is a year from then, all your website is AI generated, all the content. And when someone searches something on Google, AI, ChatGPT, they're not going to use you as a source, because they're going to use the content you AI generated, whatever the source was for that, is what's going to rank. That source will rank, not you, because you're just a rehash of that. You need to be the source that ChatGPT or Google uses to answer someone's questions. So if someone does just generate their content with ChatGPT, you want the AI to be using your expert opinion, your content, your user-generated content, your fresh content as the source. So when you search anything on these AI things, at the bottom, you'll see 3 or 4 logos, and those are the logos of the websites it's using as a source. And I and our team have done a lot of work over the last year to make sure that Samera comes up as one of those logos, and it's working incredibly well. And the way we've done that is through expert opinion, expert insight, not just rehashing things, not just Googling things, but actually talking to the team.
And that's reflected in us now receiving inquiries. When I ask someone, where have you found out about us? Historically, it may have been a Google search. And now I've had a few recently say, ChatGPT. It's like, okay.
Yes, it's starting to work. Yeah.
And that's right. You want to be the source information, not
exactly. That's the point of marketing now. Because another thing that's really important to understand about how AI is going to change the customer side of things in marketing is, I don't know if you remember, a few years ago, we went to a digital marketing conference, and there was a guy from Google giving a talk. And this was before AI was launched, years before it was launched. This might have been 2018.
It was early days, wasn't it?
Yeah. And he was saying the goal for Google is that every action taken on the internet happens on Google. So instead of you searching offshore accountant and websites coming up, you clicking that website, going to the website and making a purchase, what happens is you search it, and all the information happens on Google. So you buy on Google, you research on Google. You don't click away from Google to another website. So people's websites, in Google's perfect world, your website becomes the back end. It becomes the admin side of it, essentially, that no one ever really sees. All they ever see is what Google shows them from your website. So that's incredibly important, because that's going to make it a lot harder for new businesses, because they're not as regimented and fundamental to the Google algorithm anymore. You need to really make sure that you become the source that Google shows on Google.
But that's reflected by the volume of traffic going to websites now, isn't it? So that's definitely dropped. Okay, impressions have dropped. Everything's dropped significantly, because everything's just sitting on the AI front end of Google, basically AI overview, isn't it? And then
absolutely. If anyone out there, if your website ranks really well, but you've suddenly seen a real drop in traffic, have a look at your keywords. If your keywords haven't dropped, but your traffic has, there's a very good chance that the answers you were giving in the content that was ranking is now being given in Google's AI search results. So people don't need to click away to it. They don't need to go on your website to read it. You're not getting that traffic anymore. So you need to really work on making sure that the conversions happen on Google rather than your website. So it's going to change everything, really.
Okay, so you've set the scene. This is kind of, you use AI to do the frame, but create the framework, create the strategy.
With content, use it to do the framework, 100%.
Okay, you still need the writers. Okay. So if we get more specific then, so how can we use AI for SEO? What are you doing on the SEO side of things, firstly?
So the SEO side of things is changing quite a lot. And I'm waiting for a year from now. I think it's going to be AI will do most of the technical SEO work, or at least a lot of the... Essentially, what you can do on ChatGPT is they've got plugins. And there's loads of SEO ones, like SEO audits. And you can say, right, here's my website. Here's a specific page. Here's the keywords I want to rank for. What can I improve? And these plugins will crawl your website. They're not fantastic yet, but you can see them getting better pretty much every month. And they'll let you know what's wrong with the content. They'll let you know what's wrong with the tone, They'll let you know what's wrong with the technical side of things. They'll let you know what elements are missing, like buttons and call to action, markup schema data, all the really technical things that once upon a time you needed either a marketing expert or a web developer for. These plugins are going to start letting you know, right, here's what's missing, here's what needs to be improved, here's what you're doing well on. And about a year ago is when I started using them. They weren't that great. They were saying, oh, you're missing this. And you say to it, no, I've got that. Have another look. It's, oh, yes, you're right. You do have that. But that's starting to become less and less common. But a year from now, I think those plugins will be really, really good. And maybe 5 years from now, there'll be plugins that just make your website. And 10 years from now, it'll probably be the case where you can just tell ChatGPT or whatever the equivalent is in 10 years, here's a website I want to make. Here's the content I want to use. Make me a website and make it the best it can possibly be. And it'll probably do it.
There's products out there like Lovable out there. That
exactly, yeah. And in 10 years, they're going to be phenomenal, I reckon. I'm not sure they'll put developers and marketers and SEO out of a job. It'll just make things easier for them. Hopefully, there'll be fewer cowboys in the industry who can just make a website for a $5 and it's terrible.
Okay, all right. So then going back to content creation, you mentioned it. Don't use AI to do the content creation, but you still need to use AI in some context. So we'll expand on that a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, we use it for planning a lot. So even not just like planning in terms of what articles to write, but it can plan out an article for you, and like give you the headings and the topics, and you can keep asking it questions. Don't just take the first thing it shoots at you. Say, is there anything else it's missing? Or what would an expert add to this? Or think about what customers often ask and what myths there are and what misconceptions there are. Include them. Then send that to your content writer, who then interviews the experts in those fields. So again, they're not just Googling it. They're not just using AI. They're actually talking to an expert. Because remember, that's the thing that AI uses. It tries to go to experts, or that's what it really should be doing, to answer these questions. So you need to be that source, and it's your frontline staff, it's your experts that are going to do that.
So a great example would be, after this recording we're doing today, we could extract the transcript, okay,
Absolutely.
and use ChatGPT to provide a framework for an article on how to do AI and marketing in your accountancy firm, which would be a variation to this live recording that we've got here. And we could use AI, and then we could, got it. And then we can also use other tools that we can use to help, like things like,
I mean, there are video AI programs that will help you edit the video and produce the video. You can get it to make images. Images is a contentious one at the moment, because there's been hints from Google and others that Google might start downmarking AI generated images, AI generated videos, but we don't know that yet. They haven't confirmed it. So it might be a good idea to kind of stay away from that for your website for AI generated images. I mean, if it's general background, just imagery to make it look nice, that's fine. But anything informational, it might be worth taking some
from
time
a ranking point of view.
Exactly, yeah.
But if you just want to have information that you want to share with your team or whatever, you can still use that.
And social media will probably be fine. I don't think LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, I don't think any of them are planning on downmarking AI generated images yet, but that might change, because again, AI is going to make it so easy to churn out content. What they don't want is that there's a glut of this AI produced, everything looks the same, because there's a certain cartoon style you see everywhere at the moment. That's ChatGPT's default cartoon style, their images. And people are going to get bored of that. It's like Shutterstock images. Yeah, they're great, but if you're running dental practice,
they look like stock photos.
Every dental practice in the UK, at least, they've got the same 20 images that they've got from Shutterstock, and you want to move away from that. You want to use images of your dentists, your practice, your equipment, and it's probably going to be the same with AI generated stuff that might get started to get marked down one day. I would be surprised if it didn't. So that's why we don't use it that much, but it is absolutely an option. And things like Canva that you would be making your images and infographics and things like that on, it's got AI plugins where you can say to it, I want this, I want an element that shows this with these colors, and it can generate that for you. It's not brilliant at the moment, but it's only just launched. Give it a year or two and it'll probably be fantastic.
Wow. Okay. So in terms of, we've talked about SEO, content creation, and I suppose social media and communications, AI, how are we using it?
Well, AI with communications, again, it can be really good for planning things like planning an onboarding email sequence. or an offboarding email sequence, or customer relationship email sequence. It can be really good for planning. A lot of the programs you're going to use for your emails, they're already bringing in AI plugins that essentially let you do things like mail merges and really start to personalize things to the specific segment of people you're emailing. Like maybe they only take a certain service from you, or maybe you've not talked to them in a year, or they're in a certain location. These programs are all starting to bring in AI plugins that will let you really target people in your segments. But yeah, personally, we try to do things quite personal as much as we can. But yeah, for planning, it's brilliant, because otherwise you'd have to, once upon a time, you had to take your time and really plan things out. Now, ChatGPT goes to the experts and it says, right, here's the perfect onboarding email sequence. And then again, don't get it to write those emails for you, but it can be brilliant at planning it. And if there's a language barrier, let's say, it can be brilliant at translating. It can be brilliant at improving on your tone or your grammar or your vocabulary. But do be aware that there is a very specific tone that ChatGPT uses that gets very easy to spot. So what I would suggest doing is you can make your own custom GPTs. So I would say something like, give me 5 emails on this topic. It gives you them. Then I would rewrite them how you would like them to sound. So maybe it's very personal, maybe it's very informal, maybe it's very formal, but rewrite them all and then say, right, now this is the tone I want. I've rewritten your tone to my tone. Use my tone from now on. And then it will, that ChatGPT. It won't use ChatGPT's tone, it will use yours. So that's a really good way that you can use it and try and not make it sound like it was just written by ChatGPT.
So a large part of using these AI agents or AI tools is the prompt engineering, correct? It's
absolutely, yeah.
Prompts and getting these prompts spot on, and there's a whole session we could talk about that separately, okay? Which we maybe won't talk today, but I think that's fundamental. So one of the areas that I'm using personally, is helping AI to create video scripts, and then from those video scripts I can then talk to a camera and then record a video, and then those videos recordings can be edited, as Chris said, with different AI tools to cut up in different bits and pieces, which then can be shared on various social media platforms. So yeah, I think we're very much immersed in this on the marketing side of things. Like I said earlier, Chris, we're finding people finding us on AI platforms now. So what's the magic sauce there?
My main tip would be the expertise. You want Google to know you're an expert. So it's known as EEAT. It's something that Google implemented a couple of years ago to really boost SEO scores for websites that were using experts and not just writing things for SEO. Because that was the problem. People got so good at SEO. What was number one wasn't necessarily the best accountant. It was the accountant with the best SEO or the best marketer. And Google really, really wants to move away from that. So you need to show expertise, you need to show experience, you need to show authority, and you need to show trust. And the best way of doing that is things like opinions, expert opinions, industry insights, showing your qualifications, how long you've been in the industry, and how much experience you've got. Other people referencing you, so that's other websites talking about your brand, that's you appearing on other podcasts or guest blogging. So a lot of the things that kind of were already a thing in SEO, that is becoming a lot more important. The EEAT scores really showing that you're an expert. There's also other little things like making your content really easy to read and user-friendly. So that's things like, instead of, if the question is how to do payroll, instead of having like a 5-paragraph intro that's really flowery, and the first sentence should essentially be payroll is, and really drill down into it, because you want to make it easy for ChatGPT and Google algorithm to pick out, right, here's a 2-sentence section that exactly answers this question. So yeah, you're not really writing essays anymore. You're not really looking for, right, we need to write at least 10,000 words a page, and things have really changed. It needs to be to the point. It needs to be easy to read. It needs to have less padding, really. You want to make things as simple as possible for both the user and the GPT, because it becomes easier for GPT to use you as a source to analyze, right, that's what this is about, I'm going to use them. So use things like quotes from your experts. Make sure you show what their expertise is, what their qualifications are, how long they've been in the industry, why they're an expert. That's probably my biggest takeaway from this. I'm not saying move away from content writers, but make sure they're just filtering what the experts say, what your employees say, what your frontline staff say. The people who do it for a living, they might not be great at writing content, but they know everything that the content writer needs to know.
They've got the experience, the authority.
Yeah. So the hour that your content writer would have spent researching this, now they should spend that hour interviewing someone in your company. That's how I would do it from now on. And that's how we do it.
Like we're doing now.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, and what about the best tools, AI tools? What are we using? What are you using?
It depends what you're using it for. So every software at the moment is bringing in their own AI side of things. So whatever you use, whether it be a newsletter software or payroll software, keep an eye on it. They'll be bringing in AI stuff and try them out. Personally, I use ChatGPT a lot for planning, for strategy. Like a really good example is we're kind of redoing how we're going to do our multimedia content. And we've got a lot of different people going in different platforms and different topics. So I said, right, here are our resources, here are our platforms, here are our people. Give me a meeting schedule. I started using it to build a meeting schedule with all our different elements in the team to make sure we all come together, that they're spaced out correctly, that we're covering the right things at the right time. Again, it's not going to do the work for us, but it's helped us strategize and plan and calendarize it. There's also things like Ahrefs is one of my favorite things in the world. It's an SEO tool that basically lets you track. It's like a more in-depth Google Analytics. And that started bringing in some really good AI plugins and software as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, it'll let you know, you can let it know, right, here's a keyword. I'm looking for informational traffic, or I'm looking for people who want to learn, or I'm looking for transactional traffic. I'm looking for people who want to buy. And it'll help you improve your current articles or web pages or service pages. It'll let you know what you're missing. It'll let you know what you need to improve, what you need to add, what you need to take away. Those kind of things are really, really, really useful. And of course, I use it a lot for I'll search things on a fresh Gemini thing just to make sure that we are being used as a source. And if there's a keyword or a service we're not being used as a source for, then I know, cool, that's the page I need to work on for the next month.
Okay, but so for instance, you mentioned Gemini, you've mentioned ChatGPT. They're both, as examples, there's two LLMs. There's Claude, there's all these other ones. Are you finding any difference when you use them for different? Some are better for some things, some are better for other things.
Yeah, I would say ChatGPT. Personally, I prefer ChatGPT for creation, so strategy, planning, that kind of thing. Gemini is better for research because it's plugged in directly to Google. If you're looking for sources, stats, figures, that kind of thing, really up-to-date information, I tend to find Gemini works better for that. Its sourcing seems to be a lot better. Whereas ChatGPT, I kind of prefer the information it pumps out. I tend to end up going with that, but I use them both. Quite often, I'll take what ChatGPT says, put it in Gemini, said, right, ChatGPT said this, merge it with what you said, and I'll do the same with Gemini. Then I'll do that again and basically make them fight each other until you get the perfect plan, strategy, content outline, that kind of thing.
Okay, and then other tools that I know I'm using personally, we're using Opus Clip.
Oh yeah, we use that a lot.
Editing video into short form for YouTube Shorts. And then one thing I've tried is something called Synthesia, which is AI generated video, which is actually quite interesting. We're not using it yet, but I think we might start using that for training and videos, that type of thing.
Yeah, internally, that'll be fantastic. And it's certainly not being marked down on YouTube yet, because half the things I get are AI generated, either voices or sometimes video. So it's definitely not being marked down. It may well do once upon a time. I'd be very surprised if it doesn't.
For ranking wise, I think it's probably, you're right, it's not the right thing. But if you're just doing internal videos,
exactly, an internal video, like a training video or an onboarding thing, absolutely perfect.
Okay, all right, no, amazing. So, and I'm sure there are other tools, but I can't, so many, your mind kind of goes blurs sometimes.
Yeah.
So, kind of final question to end this kind of call today is, what do you think the future of AI marketing is?
Really, we don't know, because it's only been out a few years and it's changing everything so quickly. I'm sure people are bored of hearing that phrase. But imagine where it's going to be in 10 years. We've already got SEO plugins that can tell you what's wrong with your website. In 10 years, you'll be able to click a button and say, cool, now fix them. And it'll do it. But yeah, like I said, the biggest change, I think, is Google really, really wants to keep traffic on Google. It really doesn't want you clicking away from Google onto another website to then buy. There is talk that Google is going to care less and less about informational stuff. If you want to learn something, Google probably won't care that much, and you can do whatever you want. But if you're buying, Google wants all purchase. It wants to become the Amazon of the online stuff. It really wants every purchase to happen on Google. So type in red boots. At the moment, yeah, there'll be pictures along the top of different boots from different websites. And it'll show you the price, and you could click there, but you tend to click away to the website. What Google really wants as the future is you make all the purchases on Google. So that's going to be the biggest thing. You need to start building or thinking about building your website for Google, not necessarily for a user anymore. I think that's going to be the biggest one, because that's been in Google's plans for years. That guy told us.
Okay, amazing. Well, thank you, Chris. Now, Chris is, as we said, 7 years experience. You can hear in this record or this webinar today, he's got tons of experience in this area, and he'll be joining us in India at our Going Global event in Mumbai for accountancy. So if anyone kind of is in this interest of growing their firm using websites, using Google, using search, using AI, Chris is the man to come and see and watch and listen to. Now he'll be presenting on day 2, I believe, and and we've only just scratched the surface here today. He'll be going to a lot more techniques, ideas, solutions, and what he thinks the future will be using AI, and he'll demonstrate some stuff live to everybody there. So thank you, Chris, today. Much appreciated. Okay, and any final comments or anything else? No?
As I said, I'll be there at Going Global. I'll be there both days. I'll be talking mostly on Sunday for most of the day, but I'll be there on Saturday if anyone wants to pick my brain, if anyone wants me to have a look over their website or any advice or any questions, I'll be there. So just reach out.
Brilliant. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Aaron.